Hi, this is Sarah for Mercy Survivors, support for survivors of Mercy Ministries.com. Check out our website, mercysurvivors.com. Today I really wanted to respond to a video that was directed to us recently. The video is on YouTube. It's by someone called Amanda Fox, and she is a former resident of one of the Mercy Ministries homes in America, and I gather she didn't graduate, but in any case she is pro-Mercy and identifies herself as an unofficial advocate for Mercy Ministries. She had a few things to say about, well, mainly about us speaking out about Mercy Ministries, sharing about our experiences on blogs and the internet, and warning other people about Mercy, or just speaking honestly about our experience and doing what we do. So, I don't know, she said a whole bunch of things that I honestly relate to, like, just because every single one of the mindsets and every single thing she said I could absolutely relate to, because that's what I thought at one time as well. I wanted to believe those things because, I don't know, I guess I just was scared, and I thought if I didn't believe those things that I wasn't really Christian, or if I didn't believe those things then it meant that I was bitter, and if I was bitter then that would grow into other things and would overtake me and demon possess me and I'd go to hell or something. So basically I just, and without meaning to sound condescending in any way to you, Amanda, I honestly believe that you're very misguided. I really encourage you to hear me out here. I've got a few strong things to say, but I'll try and be nice. But I really appreciate, in saying that, look, I really appreciate you making a video. I appreciate your honesty and the opportunity to just hear you out, and the opportunity to respond to some of the things you said, because I honestly think there's a lot of people who think the same things as you, and it gives us the opportunity to respond to what a lot of other people might be thinking or wondering about us. So I'm going to address some of the things you said. I'm going to summarize some of your quotes, because I don't know, there's just so much that I wrote down that what you said, your actual quotes, but I've kind of put them in groups, and if you feel that I've misunderstood you in any way, or misunderstood anything you've said, let me know, and I'll be happy to address that as well. The overall message I got from all of this was this idea that we shouldn't be speaking out on our experiences for a whole bunch of different reasons. One of them is that there was a burden on us that, you know, if we do, then we could cause someone's death. I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, I'd just really like to address a whole bunch of those things and share why I choose to speak out, and why I've come to the conclusion that I can and should speak out and feel okay about that, and feel free in doing that. So one of the main things that, again, as I said, you said something about, you know, if you talk, you will be responsible for others' death. Some of your exact quotes: if someone reads a bad Mercy Ministries review and decides not to go, and we cause someone's death, stop talking and jeopardizing other people's lives. BS when people are pretty much making a decision on other people's lives. Here's the ironic thing about that. You're saying that by us, you know, one of us or many of us writing a negative review about Mercy, someone doing their due diligence, looking for treatment programs, reading about Mercy, reading their website, reading different sources, read some good reviews, read some bad reviews. They take all of that into account, as they should, to make make their own decision, think for themselves, use their critical judgment, and make the decision about whether that program is or isn't right for them. You said that that's what you do yourself when you're looking for a treatment program, so I know that you understand that process. The ironic thing is, Mercy Ministries takes in young women with very serious conditions, with eating disorders, which, as you may know, have among the highest mortality rates of any, you know, mental illness, etc. They take in women with serious psychiatric and psychological problems, disorders, physical issues, the problem with that is Mercy are the ones representing themselves as this kind of program that can handle all these issues, that have qualified staff, that can do this, that have professional counselling, have best practice management, where and then the person enters that program based on that information, only to find that those things aren't quite as represented. They don't have the support that they need for their illness or their condition. The program isn't quite, it's not equipped to deal with really serious things, and if it's not working out for them, then they get blamed if they don't appear healed like in a relatively short time. They get blamed for not being willing to change or not completing the program. They get kicked out on their ass after being told Mercy is your one and only hope, your last and only hope. There's so many documented cases of that. Just do some Googling. There's dozens and dozens of cases. Okay, that's the ironic thing, because Mercy is the one that's representing themselves as a program that can actually help women with these life-controlling issues, putting it in their heads that this is the last and only hope, which is utter bollocks, by the way. I'll get to that in a moment. And then kicking them out on their ass when it doesn't appear to be working for them, blaming them, scapegoating them, saying, you know what, it's not the program, it's you, out on your ass, goodbye. So it's strange that you're saying that we're responsible, that a negative review is responsible for causing someone's death, when actually Mercy is the one who's putting this idea out there that Mercy is the last and only hope of someone, which is utter bollocks. Because give me seriously, give me a Bible verse that says that. Give me a Bible verse that says Mercy is someone's last and only hope. Mercy Ministries, or a program or anything. Give me anything. Cherry pick. Speak with your think as broadly as you can. Anything. Just throw anything at me that actually backs this up, because it's utter rubbish. There's always another chance around the corner. God is a God of grace. It does not, this whole last and only chance thing is an utter lie of mercy. It's used to induce fear in women in the program and induce control. And then when that program doesn't work out for the person, they're kicked out on their ass and they live under the devastation of that weight for a number of years in some cases. So Mercy kicks people out on their asses. They're heavily at risk of suicide or danger to themselves in some way. No follow-up, no aftercare. Yet me writing a negative review about Mercy is causing someone's death. I don't quite understand that. You're going to have to help me out, because it makes no sense, hon. And it's a really heavy thing to put on us to say that, we're responsible for someone's death. I actually know someone who, I was in the program with someone who did end up killing themselves. I'm in touch with the parent of another girl who ended up killing herself. I know of several others personally known to me, and people I've had contact with on the internet who've made serious suicide attempts immediately after leaving Mercy or being kicked out of Mercy, or ended up in long periods of hospitalisation or getting worse in their issues. And for you to kind of put this thing on us like we're causing death if we write a negative review it's just rubbish. I'm sorry, but seriously, and it's a really unfair burden to put on us. Okay, so I've spent 10 minutes talking about that. I'll try and fly through the rest, because I don't want to talk about this for a long time. You said something about you get a lot of it on Tumblr. It's like stories upon stories. I know a lot of it's not even true. Nancy Alcorn is not a lesbian. Okay. If Nancy Alcorn is or isn't a lesbian, I really don't care. I can sleep at night and get to sleep without ever knowing if Nancy Alcorn is a lesbian or not. I can get through my life and die in peace without ever knowing if Nancy Alcorn is a lesbian. I really don't care. She seems to care and want to kind of, emphasize this idea that she's not. I don't care if she is or not. I really don't care. What I do care is about her integrity as a person and her taking responsibility for the way her program treats vulnerable young women. That's my concern. If Nancy Alcorn's a lesbian or not, I don't care, hun, and I don't even know why that's in this video. Something about us being judgmental. Perhaps you shouldn't be judging something that could change somebody else's life or save their life. Okay. The Bible says you can judge fruit. You can't judge the heart of a man, but you can judge fruit. And looking at the fruit of Mercy Ministries, and it's a lot of what we talk about, the behaviour, the deceptiveness, the way they conduct their program, the way they represent their program, and the contrast between that and what actually goes on in the program. This is all fruit stuff. I don't point at Nancy Alcorn and say she's an evil person or she's intentionally doing this or whatever. I don't really know. I don't understand the psyche of Nancy Alcorn or any, most staff members really. Even the staff members in the Australian home, like, I don't know. I mean, there's a few of them I really kind of wonder about them in a motivation kind of way, but apart from that, I think most of them are just well-meaning people, but really misguided. But it's not for me to judge. I don't judge their hearts, but I do judge fruit, and the Bible says I can do that. So if you want to argue with that, you can quote some verses at me if you want. This idea that we should snap out of it. You said, don't be so bitter that it didn't work out for you and get over it, I guess. That's really sensitive. Thanks for that. But I don't know. What do you say to that? Program. You basically said to wear the 5% that didn't work out for, because Mercy's, 95% success rate and all. You might want to do some reading about that. There's some pieces on that kind of poke some holes in that whole joke of a survey. It's a bit of a farce really, but I don't even care. But basically you're saying, we're this 5% and therefore we're the bitter and we're the minority, so therefore how can anyone believe us and whatevs. And something about the stories came out of the home that shut down in Australia. There's actually 2 homes. And there were some stories from California, however, they were to do with bitterness, so get over that, I guess. You might be interested to know that about 2/3 of the women in our network are not from the Australian homes. And among those 2/3 of women that are not from the Australian homes, they tend to be the most active women in the network, with the blogs and the stories and everything. So you want to keep that in mind. And you might also want to keep in mind that a number of us are also graduates, and if you read our blogs on Tumblr, you'll also see that. Something bitterness. This message of it's your fault, you deserved it, this is what you said. I think there's issues more than Mercy Ministries you have that you need to work out, I guess, with someone else that you can blame. Because, you caught me out, that's what I live for. I don't have a life with a full-time job and other commitments and church and marriage and things to do in my time other than make shit up about Mercy and blame people for my problems. I haven't been known to blame my medical professionals that I've seen, my psychiatrists or psychologists or other hospitals I've been in. I've had some criticisms here and there, but it's all been fairly balanced. And I don't blame Mercy for my problems, but I acknowledge that the damage that they did do and the ongoing impact that has that I'm working on. So I think it's a really callous thing to say and really judgmental. If you get kicked out, you get kicked out for a reason. You should have followed the program. That again represents another faulty mindset in that it's never the program's fault or the staff's fault or the way the program is run or the dynamics, that it's always the girl's fault. And that basically presents this idea that the program is infallible, and if there's a problem, if you're not responding to the formula that they are trying to impose on you, then you are the one at fault regardless. So if you don't appear healed, overnight or in a matter of days, then basically it's your fault for not being healed. I think you should have a think about that and think about how warped that is. It's a pretty warped mindset and really unhealthy and really unfair to people. I think, where there's this kind of common denominator where it's not just 1 or 2 people that have spoken out. We've got about 50 girls in our network at the moment speaking out. This isn't just 1 or 2 people, but people with a consistent themes across their own experience. A mix of graduates and people who got kicked out or chose to leave, a mix of people from various homes, and again, most of them from the US homes. So I think you might want to do some reading and reassess your mindset. There was more, but I can't really... Oh yeah, you could just tell your story, but not warn others about it, perhaps. Yeah, not going to happen, sorry. And this one kind of got me. You don't want to mess with something that God built and it's there for a reason. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you got to look at the baby in the bathwater here, okay? Mercy Ministries, maybe God... Okay, God is good, okay? Let's just say God is good. We can agree on that. He wants good things for us. He loves us, all of that. He may have inspired the concept of Mercy Ministries. He may have made certain things happen so that Mercy Ministries could come about, maybe. I don't know if I take Nancy's word for it. Okay, maybe we can agree on that. I don't believe that he ordains everything that goes on in that home. I don't believe he ordains every decision Nancy's made to cover things up or perpetuate abuses or allow abuses to go on in the program, or not address serious issues with the program. I don't think he ordains or condones any of that, any abuse that's done in his name. So yes, he may have been in the inspiration for the program and may have been in the inspiration to start something for young women to find hope and get out of that kind of revolving door circular treatment centre thing, where maybe at the time there was something needed that wasn't going to give people this message, okay, you're kind of in and out of here and you're impersonal and you're a number in the system and you're a statistic. It was kind of a nice idea, and it's still, to me, it's still a nice idea. I think it's really nice idea to have this idea of a Christian program that incorporates a spiritual component and is, you know, a home with love and good food to eat and a nice home and a program that works. Unfortunately, that's not what Mercy is. That's certainly not what I found Mercy to be, and in my years of helping run Mercy survivors, it's not what I have seen with the dozens of women that have been in contact with over the years. So it's just, I can't say that I believe that, you know, I'm not trying to mess with something that's good, but I don't believe that God stands for abuse in his name. I don't believe that the things that have gone on, that I've seen, that I've experienced and witnessed and heard about in other people's first-hand accounts, I don't believe that God is in that, and it's not God's work I'm messing with, it's actually the devil's. I want to think about that one. So in saying all of that, I just thank you for the opportunity to have dialogue on the matter and maybe address some of the mindsets that you've come out with and expressed. And I don't know, if you think I'm bitter, then I mean, you've kind of got all these ideas about us, we're judgmental and bitter and all these reasons to kind of, you know, discount what we're saying or not think about the logic or seriousness of what we say. But the ball's in your court. I mean, if you ever want to have dialogue, you're free to inbox us on Facebook. You're free to get involved in the discussions on Tumblr, ask us questions, find out. But again, I appreciate your honesty in posting your video and being upfront. But yeah, I think you've got some maturing to do. I think that you've got some things to think about, and I think you need to keep an open mind and broaden your experience a little bit. Anyway, this is another 20-minute video, one of my epics. So anyone out there listening, if you're still here, check out our website for more information, mercysurvivors.com. Cheers.